Welcome back, my sweet friends. How are you doing? As you saw, it's snowing again here. I have never remembered a winter like this. I shouldn't say winter, I should say a February like this. It just keeps snowing. Every day there's like a couple of inches. Today we have such a fun video. Paul's gonna do a DIY that I think will be so helpful to you, honestly. It saved us about $80. This is going to be something that's easy to do, and I think you're really going to appreciate it. And we're baking some Valentine cookies together and just sharing some money saving tips with you as usual. So if this sounds good, stick around. And by all means, if you're new here, click that subscribe button and come on and be part of our family. We are an early retirement couple living in the Northeast, in New York to be exact. We just show you how to save money on a day-to-day basis. So without further ado, let's get into some money saving tips. Valentine's Day is this coming weekend. Now, you know how I feel about expensive, large gifts to show someone that you love them. I don't buy that. But the world around us, with all the consumerism and materialism and the advertisers pushing this, the message we're hearing is you need to spend money to show somebody you love them. And I'm here on the other end of the spectrum telling you that is not true. That is nothing but a falsehood. I'm here to share some really inexpensive ways to show that certain special someone in your life how special they really are without spending a ton of money. And yes, it can be done. Number one, how about acts of service where you will take the other's chores on? In other words, if your significant other does the dishes every day, well, then you take it on and do it for that day, or maybe for the whole weekend, because Valentine's Day is on a Sunday, so you got to think Valentine weekend. If you're the one who always cooks, maybe they can cook for you. There's 100 different things you could do with acts of service, and that's a really great one. Number two, bake something special. I've got these cookies at the end that are so yummy, really fun way to show someone you care. And another really expensive item that you can make at home for near nothing is truffles. And I will link truffle recipe down below in the description box. So check it out. But if you don't like that one, just Google truffle recipes. Chocolate truffles are extremely expensive, and they're basically chocolate, heavy cream, and a little vanilla. It's like one of the most overpriced candies you can buy, and they're so easy to make. And that would be such an elegant gift. Put them in a pretty box, decorate them with candied sprinkles. It's endless what you can do with some truffles. Another one is, remember those who may not have someone in their life right now for whatever reason. Reach out to that person. Give them a call on Valentine's Day. Put a card in the mail to them. Let us not forget those who may be alone this holiday, whether it's due to the circumstances of what's going on, or they just don't. Sorry, that's Loris, if you can hear him in the background. But remember those who do not have someone to share the special day with, and make sure you reach out to them, please. If you do want to buy somebody something, you're gonna laugh at me, but this is one item that you can buy from the dollar store that I think gives a lot of bang for the buck, and that's mylar balloons. Some of the mylar balloons you can find for $1 are absolutely gorgeous. And there's nothing like walk in with a big bunch of mylar balloons. It's fun, it says I love you, it's cute, but that seems like such a waste, right? Remember this hint I am going to give you right now. You'll never look at a mylar balloon the same way again. What do you do with the mylar balloon when all the helium is out and it's kind of wilty? When the balloon is almost completely deflated, what you're going to do is cut out the bottom of it, take it outside, get whatever little helium remains out. And then what you have is the most beautiful gift wrap. You can cut along the bottom, open it up just a little bit, and use it as a gift bag. Or you can cut it around the sides and use it as the most beautiful wrapping paper. So don't get rid of those mylar balloons when they're almost deflated. Take them outside, let the air out of them, and reuse them as wrapping. They make beautiful gift bags. think of a round mylar balloon. You snip the bottom once it's deflated, and you can fill it with all kinds of stuff. Tie a ribbon around the bottom, or you can cut around the edges and tape it up, and it makes beautiful wrapping. So I always look at mylar balloons that way. They cost very little at the dollar store. They're visually very appealing, and you can reuse them so they're not being wasted. So those are just a couple of ideas that I wanted to share with you for Valentine's Day. So now I'm going to turn it over to Paul, and he's going to show you how to rescreen a window screen for next to nothing. Here he is.
Window screens, for some reason, deteriorated. I don't know if it's the sunlight that does that.
Can you guys
There
see
you go,
that?
perfect.
Yeah.
So,
Look up here, how bad.
yeah, ripping. So I think the sunlight has taken this screen out. So we're going to try to replace this ourselves.
How much did it cost when you called, Paul, to ask them if they could do it?
I think between $25 and $30
Okay.
to drop it off and have someone do this. So this is what you need to do, and luckily we borrowed this from Emmy's brother. This is a wheel for the spline, and the spline is this beading that goes around the screen that helps hold it in. And sometimes you have to buy new spline, and there's all different sizes. Here's this size here. I'm going to try to reuse the spline, so I'm going to take it out very carefully. So let's do that first. You don't want to stretch it, so you might have to use a screwdriver and gently work it out. I took the spline out carefully because I'm going to try to reuse this, but I want to make a little arrow in the direction that I took it out where it started and stopped. So with this pencil, I'm just going to make a little arrow here to tell myself that I went that way. Now the spline is out, so the screen is now going to come out of the frame. Yeah, it's pulling right out. It's just I want to make sure there's no pieces ripped in there. Okay,
Perfect.
There's the old screen. Fold this up.
Got to think of something to do with that.
Okay, you just want to take a look and make sure the track is clear of any debris. We're going to lay out the screen and give it a rough cut. I bought enough screen to do 3 or 4 of the windows. So basically this is about $10 worth of screen.
You got 7 feet for $10.
Right, 7
Okay,
feet.
so now I want you all to think about that because it was $25 a window for somebody to do this, and we just got 7 feet for $10. This is a great frugal tip.
So you want to overlap about 1 inch all the way around with the new screen, roughly 1 inch around. So we're going to just cut it. Luckily there's some extra spline in the kit that my brother-in-law gave me, which is great. I'm going to cut about 4 little pieces of this spline. Kind of eyeball the screen, see if it's square. And I'm going to take a piece of this. The tool has a concave side and it has a pointy side. So I'm going to show you what that does in a minute, but right now I'm going to use the pointy side, push the screen down in it, place a piece of this spline in there. Okay. We're going to do that to this corner here. Pull it taut. Use the tool to push it down in. Okay, I got the screen in place, being held in by the 4 little pieces of bead that if you can see that, that's just temporary. So now I'm going to try to put the original bead back in. Find on your wheel the sharp pointy side, not the groove side. Don't know if you can see the difference. This is sort of grooved. Pointy side, gonna set it in here, push down and roll in the channel, just like that. Start here.
What side are you using now?
I'm using the concaved wheel.
So that's the grooved side.
This is the groove side, and I'm going to carefully push this spline into the groove. Now this corner here, I'm going to press down, and here, remember I put this piece in? Take it out.
So you just have to make sure you're really getting it all the way down, in other words.
Yeah, there's a little bit of pressure. Actually, there's a lot of pressure. And you just want to help guide. Coming up to this corner, remove the spline that I put in as a holder. And there it is. Now I'm going to take the screwdriver and carefully push the bead down in the corner where the wheel couldn't reach.
And we're using a screwdriver for that?
Just a flat blade screwdriver. There you go. That's it. Do the same thing all the way around. Okay, we're coming down to the final stretch. So what I'm going to do is, on the corner here, just going to push it down carefully. You don't want to put a hole in the new screen. So just work closely. Remove the temporary spline as the keeper. There it is. And the same thing. You're going to need a utility knife or a razor knife. This is a razor knife. Be very careful at this point, because what we're doing now is we're going to trim the excess of the screen. Basically, carefully, you want to just run the knife along the inside edge of the track, trimming it along. Nice and slow, no rush.
Watch your fingers. This is not for children.
Just take your time, there's no rush.
Watch your fingers where you're holding it to.
Yep.
And you're going to continue that all the way around.
And that's it. The new screen is in. No more holes.
$3.33 a screen compared to the $25 to $30 they wanted.
Didn't take long at all.
No, literally. I think we've been here 15 minutes with you. I love when Paul can bring us money-saving tips for around the house.
So we got the screens done, which was really great. I was actually able to get 3 screens fixed. Got 1, 2, and 3. So I can't wait for summer. Put these babies in, let that nice warm air in the house. The tool I was using is a spline tool for windows and doors and screens. And you can find those at the hardware store. You can find them maybe at Walmart. They go between $7 to $10. They're made of plastic now. The one I had was older. It had wood and real metal. Don't see that anymore. And it was terrific. So I think I did all 3 screens within less than half an hour. It was super easy, and it saved me a heck of a lot of money. There it is. I hope you guys can use this tip. It worked for me. It'll work for you.
I am super happy to be able to bring you a very easy, frugal Valentine cookie today. What we're doing is using the M&Ms that we bought at the after Christmas clearance sale at CVS. If you remember one of my hauls, we got them 75% off on a bag. So they were a minimal amount of money after Christmas. And what I did, which I told you I would do, I separated the red for Valentine and the green I'm going to be putting away for St. Patrick's Day cookies or cupcakes, whatever you want. But this is such a delicious, easy recipe. If you don't want to use M&Ms, you can use chocolate chips, whatever you want. The red M&Ms I thought just gave it a little bit of a fun, festive flair. So first thing we're going to need 3/4 cups M&Ms, and that's exactly what was in the bag when I separated them. An egg, a stick of butter. Now I am using salted butter, so I am not going to add salt to the recipe, but if you use unsalted butter, add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I need a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, I need a half a cup of brown sugar, quarter cup of white sugar, and a cup and a quarter of all-purpose flour. That's it. Now I will tell you it did call for vanilla. I am completely out of vanilla. And we're gonna see whether it makes a difference or not in the taste of the cookie. I am not running out to get vanilla to make a cookie. I'm just not. I think these ingredients will hold themselves well on their own. So let's get right to this. I forgot to let my butter come to room temperature. So a trick I always do, if my butter is pretty hard from the refrigerator, is I just grate it with my cheese grater. Watch your fingers though. And this softens the butter and it puts it into smaller pieces and it works perfectly. I also preheated my oven to 350 degrees. What I did was I stopped while I still had a chunk like this because you don't want to get your fingers in that grater. So I stopped right there, which will be perfect. To this, I'm going to add 1 egg. And I'm going to add the quarter cup of white sugar, brown sugar. Then I am going to mix it till it is incorporated. Now I'm going to add the quarter cup of flour and the 1 cup of flour. And I'm going to add the half a teaspoon of baking soda. Now I'm going to mix this just to incorporate. Then what I'm going to do is put it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes to chill it. And I'm sure this has happened to some of you, where you make a cookie and it spreads. We don't want that. So I'm going to mix this till it's incorporated. This is a half recipe. So what we're gonna do is add our M&Ms, give them a quick mix around, and then I'm gonna pop it in the refrigerator just for 10 minutes to chill the dough. So we let this chill just 10 minutes or so. And then what I'm going to do is take a teaspoon and I'm gonna put them on by rounded teaspoon. These seem a little small. Go ahead, Paul, say it.
I think only 2 M&Ms can fit in that.
Yeah, but I think that's how it's set a teaspoon, so we'll make them a little bigger. How's that? Is that like more realistic size?
This wasn't a Mickey Mouse recipe, was it?
No. So let's say a heaping teaspoon then. Like that. Yeah, that works. So I am going to finish up this sheet. All right, our first tray is done. We're going to put these in the oven for 9 to 11 minutes. We will check them at 9 minutes. You always want to check the lowest because everybody's oven is so different. So let's get these in. I thought we'd add a little bit more whimsy to these cookies. I would have loved to have added some red sugar on top, but I do not have any colored sugar, but I do have white sugar and I do have red food coloring. So what I'm going to do is just literally a drop. We're going to mix this around. Going to incorporate it. Might take a minute, but don't give up. Food coloring is a liquid, so you got to give it time to just get in there and get all around. And just finish it off with my fingers. Look at this. And now we have whatever color sugar we want. Now what I'm going to do with these, the second batch, I'm just going to push them down a little bit. Some colored sugar on top. These cooked for about 11 minutes. Keep an eye on them. Now what you want to do is just make sure, let them rest for about 5 minutes. Don't try to take them off yet because they're super hot and they're gonna stick. Then we'll transfer them over to the wire rack to cool complete. Okay, now we're getting super creative and we're making little hearts because hey, why not, right? This is so like Paul. Here are mine up here. Okay, they're passable. Now you look at Paul's. It's like perfect. So now he's in charge of making the rest of the hearts. Okay, now he's just showing off, aren't you?
It's not gonna work.
Let's see. These came out so well. 100% beautiful. I will tell you the ones we didn't push down came out a little lighter than the ones we did. All right, are you all ready for Paul's heart that he made with the arrow? I'm not sure what it looks like, but it's sweet. Look. But they were so delicious, so super easy. Have fun. It's Valentine's Day. Enjoy. We wish you bon appetit. I feel like we crammed a lot into this again for you, and I hope that is okay. Those cookies are so yummy. I think that Paul did such an amazing job on those screens. I'm in awe. And literally each screen took no more than 15 minutes. He really, really did a great job. Don't forget that Valentine's Day is this coming weekend. So don't forget that special someone, just a little extra love, right? And I'm sure you're all wondering how my no spend birthday went. It went amazing. We literally didn't even leave the house because guess what it was doing? It was snowing. But Paul made me the steak, and we had a baked potato, and we had shrimp in the freezer, and we boiled them up with some cocktail sauce, and we watched movies. It was perfect. I want to tell you what also made it perfect was all the letters and the cards and the gifts that you all sent. You know, what do I say? I say to you all the time that I'm humbled. I can't even, you have no idea, but I love you all so much. Thank you. Thank you. It's always so fun to be here with you. Thank you again for watching the ads. Please keep it up. It helps so much. It really does. We appreciate you so much. If you enjoyed this, give it a big thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're doing for Valentine's Day, if anything. And remember, please stay well, be safe, and we love you. And remember, we wish you blessings. Bye-bye. Until our next video, we'll see you soon.